Alright, welcome back. It's Vol here again, and I'm going to talk you through the second game of Warhammer Fantasy that I played against the Empire today at the South Auckland Wargaming Club. Fresh after my draw with the previous Empire guy, I'm playing a completely different guy and with a completely different Empire army. And as you can see, it's got a lot of very old school Empire models in it. Some of them are unpainted, but you can see the classic Knights Panther. I'm just going to take you through the Tomb King's deployment left to right, and then I'll go through the Empire deployment. So Tomb King's deployment left to right, all the chariots on the left, including the Prince, and then the Heavy Horsemen next to them. Hill in the middle, I actually placed the hill there during deployment, during sort of terrain setup, thinking that I might be able to get some cover against his war machines by doing that, and we'll see if it pays off. Tomb Guard in the center, Casket of Souls, Screaming Skulls, Catapult, Carrion behind the hill, behind the woods, sorry. Unit of 10 archers, then a unit of 20 archers. The previous game I actually knocked off my unit of 10 archers because we played a slightly lower points value game, just because he didn't bring a big enough army. And then there's a Scorpion on the right hand side, deployed there to take on the Knights, but the other Scorpion and the Swarm are tunneling. So let's go straight to the next photo where you can see the Empire deployment. I'm going to take you from right-hand side down to the left. Right-hand side, we've got the Pistoliers, a detachment of handgunners. We've got the cannon behind them. We've got a captain on a Pegasus with Eldred's Casket of Sorcery, which lets you steal a spell within 12 inches. We had a bit of a debate about it before the game as to whether that steals incantations or not. I decided to rule, yes you can steal incantations just for this game. We'll figure it out some other time. Just next to that, there's a unit of, I think it's swordsmen or halberdiers or spearmen or something. Then there's a detachment of halberdiers next to them, another detachment of something or other, I think it's handgunners, big unit of halberdiers, or 20 of them. Hellblaster volley gun, another detachment of handgunners. Steam tank, Empire General on a Griffin with the item that gives him a +2 magic resistance and a ward save. So that's going to hurt me against the Casket of Souls because he's got magic resistance. Big unit of skirmishing archers in front of the hill. A cannon and a mortar on the hill. Knights Panther on the left-hand side. And I thought, wow, this army is going to be a lot tougher than the previous guy that I played this morning because... the previous guy this morning didn't have as much artillery. He didn't have crazy characters like this guy. By the way, there are 2 wizards in there, 2 level 2s in these units, and he's got a steam tank again, the older version of the model. He's got a couple of flying units to just charge my Hierophant or my Casket of Souls or whatever. And he's got plenty of guns, and he's even got a knight unit this time, and the previous guy didn't have a unit of knights, so I'm in real trouble. In fact, I was expecting to get stomped, straight out stomped in the first couple of turns. Let's take a look at the next picture while I have a bit of a rant. You can see the Casket of Souls a bit more closely here. I just want to warn you guys, prepare yourself for disappointment because my camera ran out of batteries halfway through the game. And this turned out to be the longest, most grueling game of Warhammer I've played in the last 10 years. Although I've only played a dozen to 20 games so far in the last few months with my new army. But we were the last guys in the club. The sun was going down, and we were sitting there, like getting to the end of the 6th turn before we finished. And it turned out to be a nail-biting race to the finish, which felt like a draw, but it could have gone either way right to the very end. And I didn't take pictures for the second half, so bear with me for the first few photos, but once I run out of photos, I'm just going to tell you how it ends. Sorry about that, guys. Next picture. Tomb Kings win the first turn. Thank God. I feel like I would have been absolutely blitzed if I didn't win the first turn, and he actually deployed first, so he had the +1, so I was very lucky. Moving forward the Carrion in order to cast urgency on them so I can charge his cannon. I know that he's just going to fire his cannon off at the Casket of Souls dude and kill it. I didn't take a Collar of Shapesh on the Lich on the casket. I'm going to have to next time. It's so important to keep that guy alive because he's worth so many points with the casket. Left-hand side, all the chariots are rumbling forward as well as the guys behind the hill there. And the Scorpion's just getting in position to fend off the Knights. Next photo, the Carrion, the magic phase goes off. They charge into the cannon. As you can see, I've got a marker there ready to bring the Tomb Swarm up. The Carrion, unfortunately, didn't beat the crew in combat because they lost. They took a wound, and he had the hill advantage, which sucks because the Carrion didn't quite finish him off there. Prevented him from shooting. That's crucial because then he can't shoot my Lich, but I still would have preferred to kill the crew. Next picture, the Empire take their turn 1. Pistoliers move into the forest to prevent me from crushing them. The archers move behind the hill here, and everybody's just getting to position. We had a few guns going off, but nothing serious being done to the undead in turn 1. Turn 1. So, yeah, the Knights Panther on the far right-hand side clunking forward. And really, I just got off lightly. The general charged into the cannon on the side there and killed them, although I think I took out another cannon member, I can't remember. But generally a fairly pain-free Empire turn 1, and I'm starting to feel like I'm not going to lose the game so badly straight away. And steam tank rumbling forward, but nothing happening there. Next photo, you can sort of see the Knights Panther moving around. He's in range, in charge range for the archers here, so I had to overcome that problem by pulling back with the unit of 10 archers to the left so that he couldn't charge them, moving the other unit in the way, moving the king to that unit of archers so that the king can protect them from the knight charge, and getting the Scorpion in a position to flank the knights should they charge. And in the meantime, I've got the unit of 15 Tomb Guard moving forward, ready to be accompanied by the king once the threat of the knights has been lifted. Casket of Souls actually went off despite his good dispel ability, and despite the magic resistance of the Griffin, it actually killed a few guys, which is fun, but nothing serious. It actually used its -1 to enemy casting to actually stop a spell too, which was great. Next picture, you can see Tomb King's turn 2, where things are starting to happen. The Scorpion shows up in the middle, to the top middle, and chases away the Hellblaster volley gun team, kills the Hellblaster. The Mortar has lost a couple of guys due to the casket, I think it was, and had a misfire or something, can't shoot. The cannon's back in action, but the Swarm's about to show up in front of its face. The Tomb Guard are just hanging out there. As you can see, my little maneuver here with the king in front of the archer unit is protecting me from the Knight Charge, crunching my Hierophant, which is on a horse. The heavy cavalry is getting into position in front of that dude with the Pegasus. What happened in the background there is the unit of chariots to the left are getting shot up and they not in charge range. The Prince's unit of chariots charges into the dudes, breaks them. They flee. They don't overtake because they crash into an attachment unit, and I'll be fighting them next turn. And that's generally how it's shaping up for Tomb King's turn 2. Let's go to the next picture. You can see this in a lot more detail here. There's 4 units of chariots intact in the middle of the photo, and as you can see there, beating that unit of spearmen, the spearmen flee backwards. The Hellbirders have already fled because of fear, and that makes me over into the group of the tiny group of 4 gunners, handgunners there, and that's going to take me further across the board. So we'll see how things work out shortly. Next picture, what happens here is that he flies into the midfield with his Griffin. Then he flies he tried to charge the catapult with his captain, but didn't make it, and he's ended up in this precarious position where if I can get some magic and moves happening, I might be able to take him out. So things looking very promising here, and I might be jumping a couple of photos ahead, but I'm going to tell you straight away what happens. I fire the catapult at the general with the Griffin, hits it directly. I roll to randomize to see who's under the dot. Hits the Griffin, kills the Griffin. Also hits the general, kills the Griffin, fails his ward save, totally wipes out the entire Empire general with one flaming